Today's learning target: I can apply understandings of rational numbers to evaluate absolute value. Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. Today's topic: absolute value and negative integers. We are in our textbook today on page 192 and 193. Our topic to begin: identifying and graphing integers, understanding that 0 is our neutral point, and everything is divided either positive to the right of 0 on a number line or negative to the left of 0. Integers can be graphed on a number line. To graph an integer on a number line, draw a dot on the line where it's located. Negative integers have a sign or symbol in front of it, like a dash or a hyphen, but it is called our negative symbol. Underneath the examples, write an integer for each situation. So now we're looking at the vocabulary that goes along with the numbers. An average temperature of 5 degrees below normal. So I want you to envision where 0 would be on a number line. And if we were below that, would that be 5 degrees positive or 5 degrees negative? It is. We represent that with a -5. Second example. The average rainfall of 5 inches above normal. So I want you to go back to the number line and think from 0, where would I be above normal? We'd go to the right in the positive, so our answer would be +5. Now notice that you can write +5 with a plus in front of it or without. Both of those mean +5. But mathematicians are lazy, and you will not see that +5 very often with the plus sign in front of it. They want you to assume that if there's not a negative there, that it's a positive number. All right, so let's try to write an integer for each situation. 6 degrees above normal. +6 or -6? +6, correct? Second one, 2 inches below normal. +2 or -2? It is -2. Very good. Next example, graph the set of integers on a number line. To do that, you would simply identify where they are on a number line and put a dot there. Top of the next page, they give you more numbers to graph. Graphing a set of integers on a number line is just identifying where they would fall by putting a dot, a mark. You've seen this before, like in the classroom number lines, where they're identified with like a little dot where that number would fall, or maybe a dash or a star on a number line. So all they're doing when they're graphing an integer means they're just finding on the number line and putting a marker there. Okay. Next on that number line, we're looking at absolute value. Absolute value is the distance. It's not a value like it says. It's the distance from 0. So I want you to think back to when you were in elementary school and you had the little number line on your desk and you were learning to add, and they would say, what is 3 + 1? And you'd put your finger on 3 and you do a bunny hop, one more, and you'd say 3 + 1 is 4. Okay. We're using that travel on our number line, just like you did when you were in elementary school, but we're not adding. This time we're saying, how many spots is -5 from 0? Well, we go to -5 and we go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. So the distance that we've traveled is 5. The absolute value of -5 is 5 spots. Looking at this number line right here. If we ask for the absolute value of +5, we start at 0. This time we turn to the right. Doesn't matter if you're going left or right. They're asking for the distance that you traveled. So we go from 0 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. So the distance is +5. You can't go negative distance. Like if mom and dad drove you to school, say it's 3 miles, then they turned around and went back home those 3 miles. How far did they travel? 6 miles, not 0. You don't go forward and then take those miles back. So distance is what we're calculating when we're looking at absolute value. And you'll see right here in the example, absolute value, the symbol for it are two straight bars that go on either side of the number. That's what the question is. Like when you see those two bars on either side of the number, they are asking you for the absolute value. That's your symbol to know. Like a plus would be to put them together, and a minus would be to take them apart. And absolute value symbol, mathematical symbol, are two straight lines that go on either side of the number, just like is shown here and here. On the number line in the key concept box, notice that -5 and 5 are each 5 units from 0, even though they're on opposite sides of 0. Numbers that are the same distance from 0 on a number line have the same absolute value. So let's try the next example. Evaluate, which means to solve each expression. So some might look at that and go, what question are they asking? They're asking by noticing those bars on either side of the number. That means they want to know the absolute value of -4. So we go to the number line, we travel from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 4 units. The absolute value of -4 is +4. Lastly, now they're going to up that and put negative numbers into equations. So first, the order of operations are kind of like parentheses first. This order of operations asks you to solve the absolute value before you solve the problem. So let's simplify. The absolute value of -5 minus the absolute value of 2. So what is the absolute value of -5? You're right, it's 5. What is the absolute value of 2? It's 2. So our problem becomes 5 minus 2 equals 3. So they're going to start putting them into expressions or equations as well. We need to identify when you see those two straight bars. They're not parentheses, they're not curved, they're straight. They're asking for the absolute value. So let's try these last 3. The absolute value of 8. How far is it from 0? It is 8. Letter F, they've put it into an addition problem. 2 plus the absolute value of -3. Well, let's start with simplifying. What is the absolute value of -3? 3. So our new problem says 2 plus 3. We would put a 5 over here. Letter G, what is the absolute value of -6? Then subtract 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Very good. Absolute value, positive and negative numbers. We're looking at keywords like above and below, more than, less than. We'll keep working on it, but our lesson for today is to identify key vocabulary in math problems and determine or evaluate absolute value. Have a great Monday. Today's learning target: I can apply understandings of rational numbers to evaluate absolute value.